OxenPalm back in Fiji after 10-year ban. And shortage of syphilis test kits at hospitals.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for Monday's news. A 10-year ban on OxenPalm has been lifted after a company from Fiji has come to Papua New Guinea to clarify the issue on OxenPalm being a biosecurity risk to Fiji. After having witnessed the production and process of OxenPalm, 13 stores in Fiji will now be selling all the 4 brands of OxenPalm: the red, blue, orange and barbecue.
Look again closely. No, that is not PNG's OxenPalm, and yes, it does have the close similarities like the red label and the signature ribbon logo. The name also, Oxenford, sounds catchy. That is what the true bully beef of PNG is up against in the Fiji market. Our Melanesian brothers and sisters have finally welcomed back PNG's true bully beef back on their shelves after knocking it back for 10 years. Banning the product because of strict quarantine and quality control issues.
The reason why we've always had difficulty in getting Fiji, it wasn't that they were ever actually banned, is Fiji, like most countries, has a very strong biosecurity group, and basically there was no gateway for us to actually get through that.
The quality control issues have been resolved after several trips to Fiji and by the Fijians to the OxenPalm factory. Fiji's Carpenters Limited, through Headstrom Supermarket Group, is partnering with Kraft Heinz Hugo Canning to distribute OxenPalm throughout their 13 stores nationwide in Fiji.
Maurice Headstrom has come on board to take us on the shelves in Fiji. Carpenters is an iconic household name in Fiji, and we are glad to be associating our iconic OxenPalm brand with them in Fiji.
But why the Fijian market? Well, we import Fiji water and other products. Why not send our best products to Fiji? And of course, to expand the market in the Pacific. We have Vanuatu and Solomon Islands already enjoying the OxenPalm brand. Let's have the whole Melanesia and Pacific enjoy the finer taste of canned premium beef.
We thought it was very important that we get to Fiji. That's why it was our priority in 2018.
You know, it's a big achievement for us, Hugo Canning, and the brand, and also for Papua New Guinea.
Already we're in Solomon Islands, we're in Vanuatu and now Fiji, with plans in 2019 to expand into Tonga, Samoa and New Caledonia.
All the OxenPalm brands are available currently on Fijian store shelves, with the red, blue, orange and OxenPalm barbecue in Headstrom supermarkets throughout Fiji. But it's the OxenPalm orange that is selling faster than the others. But sooner or later, the taste of blue and red will surely kick in.
At the moment, the OxenPalm orange is selling extremely well, faster than the OxenPalm red. So we figure that, that will change over a period of time, as always, but it's quite funny because, although it's a great brand, it's not our strongest brand here, it's a good product, but the Fijians seem to have really taken to the orange.
Fidelis Sukina, National EMTV News.
Chairman of the Constitutional and Law Reform Commission, Robert Atiafa, is concerned about security issues in Hela province, which forced the deferral of the consultation on the review of the election law in the province last week. The consultation team was in the province last month but was unable to carry out the consultation because of the volatility of the situation on the ground. Consultation was also cancelled for Enga province due to prior commitments by provincial authorities. Both provinces will have a new date set for the consultation. Mr. Atiafa said with the year nearing the end, the Commission is pressed for time to complete the review within the government's target time frame of 18 months. Apart from Hela, Enga, Southern Highlands, Western and NCD, all the provinces have already been consulted. The consultation is expected to be completed before the year ends, and a final report of the review is to be submitted to government by March 2019. From the tip of West Papua, which is Sorong, to Samarai, the end tail of PNG, the journey of the Wairon, a canoe built by the indigenous Biak people of West Papua, has finally reached its destination, Samarai in Milne Bay Province. However, before its final leg from Tufi to Samarai, the EMTV crew caught up with them at Marasa village in Tufi.
The Wairon, which set sail on the 21st of September from Sorong in West Papua, journeying to Samarai in Milne Bay Province, gracefully came ashore at Marasa village in Tufi, Oro Province. Accompanying them on board the Wairon from Tufi station to Marasa village was Oro Governor Gary Jufa.
The canoe is coming from Biak, and its purpose is to make its way to the Canoe Festival in Milne Bay. And it is the intention of the crew, the persons who are on board this canoe, to participate in this canoe festival. And the purpose or the reason why they are doing this is to create awareness about the situation in West Papua.
Governor Jufa emphasized that Papua New Guinea as a nation can take action by bringing the plight of the West Papuans and asking for dialogue.
But what Papua New Guinea can do is take this matter to the UN, take this matter to the US and the powerful Western nations, Indonesia, and bring them to the table and say, look, what is happening is wrong. What is happening is illegal and it's inhumane. This is an oppressive and brutally suppressive form of dictatorship over a people who do not want to be treated this way. They want to be free. Why can't they be free? The Pacific cannot be free without the people of West Papua when they are oppressed in this way.
The Wairon crew spent the night at Marasa village, hosted by the locals there, and set sail for its final leg from Tufi to Samarai the next day. Florence John Duo, National EMTV News.
You're with Monday's news on EMTV. Still ahead, alcohol-related road accident in East New Britain, shortage of syphilis testing kits at Port Moresby General, and World AIDS Day. Stay tuned for those stories and more on the other side of these messages.
Whatever our work may be, sing out strong as far as you can see. Whatever language people are taught, come on, everyone join in. An exciting adventure is about to begin. 'Cause there's one thing we all know, when it's time to get up and go. Sharing stories, make the call. Our favorite biscuit, the best of all. M now, PMG. M now, PMG. M now, PMG.
As PNG's only ISO-accredited bulk haulage operator, IPI Transport guarantees the delivery of your critical cargo. Equipped with state-of-the-art GPS tracking systems and backed by an experienced team, you can rely on IPI Transport, part of the IPI group of companies.
We can't wait to meet you.
I got this.
Hi guys, this is Peter. I'm going in to help Mom, okay?
Oh boy, these are some pretty big fellas. Hello. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Whoa, that's a tight grip.
Hey.
Seriously?
Hey, is that your car?
Yes, it is.
Sweating on the inside? Handle it on the outside with Speed Stick.
Hey, come with my dad.
Huh? Speed Stick. Don't sweat it, handle it.
In our harsh and vibrant landscape, Dulux Weather Shield is the perfect choice to protect your building against everything Mother Nature throws at it. Worth doing, worth Dulux.
Wednesday on Culinary Journeys. Chef Shinabuna Mei is on a journey to discover omotenashi, the art of selfless Japanese hospitality,
which leads to the respecting the seasonality.
The Japanese hospitality is all about appreciating and respecting those tiny things and to put everything together to make someone happy. Culinary Journeys, Wednesday 7 p.m. right here on your number one to watch, EMTV.
Welcome back. At least 2 people are dead and 2 others injured in a fatal car accident in East New Britain province over the weekend. The accident happened on Saturday at Bitavavar, a few kilometers outside of Kokopo town. East New Britain police have confirmed that the accident resulted from drink driving. Edwin Fidelis reports from Kokopo.
This picture shows the scene a few minutes after the accident. The police reported that the vehicle was traveling on high speed. The driver lost control, hit a pavement and rolled over 5 times before coming to a stop. 4 people were on board, 2 were killed instantly. The other received life-threatening injuries. The driver has been reported to have fled the scene shortly after the accident.
The investigation is still continuing. Very shortly we will have the driver arrested and charged for drink drive.
The accident happened at around midday on Saturday along the Bitavavar-Baliora road. It is understood those involved in the accident were continuing on a binge drinking from a birthday party the previous night. The police claimed drink driving was the cause of the fatality.
The driver and the occupants of the vehicle, they were fully drunk. Okay, they were drunk. Okay, as of Friday night, they were having a birthday party for one of their sons. Till daybreak, and they drove off in around 12 o'clock and they involved in the accident.
Last weekend's accident has now become the second fatal accident that claimed lives in East New Britain province this year alone. In February, a PMV truck experienced mechanical problems and plunged off a cliff in Toma in the Gazelle district. Most of the passengers were students and were badly injured. 2 of them died in the accident.
I'm appealing to the people in East New Britain, especially the drivers of motor vehicle, please. We are approaching Christmas and New Year, so please be very, very cautious, be very careful.
This is not the first and it won't be the last. The police have sounded yet again another warning. Don't drink and drive. Edwin Fidelis, National EMTV News, Kokopo.
Syphilis is a disease common among pregnant women and can be harmful to unborn babies. The only way to detect this disease is with syphilis kits, which unfortunately are lacking in hospitals all over the country. Port Moresby General Hospital's head of reproductive health, Dr. Glenn Moller, said 4 out of 100 pregnant women are likely to acquire syphilis.
In order to protect an unborn baby from syphilis, the mother has to be tested and treated immediately. The test for syphilis is part of the standard medical checkup that pregnant women go through during their routine clinic checkups. With only a syphilis kit can a pregnant woman be tested for the disease. The test is vital as the well-being of an unborn baby depends on it.
Syphilis ay mga plastic no good is a bagrapin picking inside the belly mama. Na suppose mama got this la syphilis sick, na mi belt come long, scaling belt clinic, antenatal clinic, mi plemas look sabe quick na give mama penicillin injection long. Stop him syphilis long, cure him syphilis, rouse him syphilis lo body belongan by syphilis he no can bagrap him baby inside lo bell. But me no got test kits belong find him out who's that one mama I got syphilis.
Dr. Moller is concerned that syphilis kits are lacking in hospitals throughout the country. He confirmed that the Port Moresby General Hospital has also been facing a shortage of syphilis kits for almost a year. The hospital is fortunate to purchase some kits with its own funds in October. However, the concern remains for hospitals in outside centres.
Port Moresby General Hospital using some private money or some hospital money yet. Long by him some syphilis test kits last month. So maybe start testing again all mama is have come long. Scaling Bell Clinic lo Port Moresby General Hospital. So plan the hab lo pabini not yet. So maybe la worry straight long this la syphilis test kits is sort yet long or lot of la hab lo pabini.
Last month, the United Nations Population Fund came to the aid of the Port Moresby General Hospital with the donation of a manual vacuum extractor for women with complicated pregnancies. Dr. Moller said the hospital only had 1 extractor and was thankful to UNFPA for the donation. Charlene Airy, National EMTV News.
Dr. Glenn Moller has also refuted claims by women that implants have side effects. He says implants only serve the purpose of preventing women from getting pregnant and do not cause any side effects. He's appealing to women who have had an implant to stop blaming it for any disorder felt afterwards.
Implant, he got one walk that's all inside the body blow you. Implant stop him ovary blow you, place blow kiao, long come up him kiao or get a moon. So please, me like talk strong long or get the community lo Papua no can blame him implant long kind something. Maybe a doctor is like in pain. Lo na nurse too or plant mama is a come back lo how sick to rouse him is implant because me kusia. Implant no come up in kus, more better you go look him doctor and find out why. Want him see, no good you got TB or something.
World AIDS Day was celebrated at the Rita Flynn Courts. A number of government departments and NGOs marked the day with dancing, speeches and awareness.
This year marks 30 years since World AIDS Day was first celebrated on December 1st, 1988. This year, however, the organizing committee for World AIDS Day in PNG postponed the celebrations to today. Port Moresby residents marched from Anglican Stop AIDS at Waigani to the Rita Flynn Netball Courts. Speaking at the commemoration were representatives from the Health Department, Community Development Department, National AIDS Council, Australian High Commission, and a representative from IGAD Hope and persons living with AIDS.
To mark World AIDS Day, this year being the 30th anniversary of the first World AIDS Day, we come together to celebrate our successes and to reaffirm our commitment to tackling HIV and AIDS. 30 years of World AIDS Day shows the long-term complex nature of addressing HIV and AIDS.
These programs, funded by the Australian government, would help a lot of people living with HIV and AIDS in Papua New Guinea with testing and getting treated. Rose also said that Australia funded 113 clinics in all provinces and were able to help over 6,500 people.
You must get yourself on tested. Now, if you're positive, go to treatment. If you are not positive, stay negative, because knowing your status is a powerful tool.
Dr. Dalla also mentioned that HIV/AIDS is not a standalone issue, but one that comes with issues relating to illiteracy and poverty. Tamara Pia Agavi, National EMTV News.
The Department for Community Development and Religion today observed the International Day of Disability. In a small but significant event hosted by the department, people living with disabilities from all walks of life shared their experiences. This year's theme focused on empowering persons with disabilities and ensuring inclusiveness and equality.
The International Disability Day is observed annually, and this year's theme pledges to empower people living with disability to make them beneficiaries and an agent of change. In a small ceremony held today, Deputy Secretary for Department of Community Development, Jean Sliviak, says for the first time the government now has a national policy on disability. Launched on May 2015, the policy aims to establish and strengthen policy implementation to bring about change and address issues affecting persons living with disability.
The soul of a nation depends on how this nation takes into account the needs of persons with disability, the vulnerable groups of people, and addresses those needs of persons with disability and other vulnerable groups. The measure of how that soul flourishes to meet the needs of these people depends on how we tangibly make it become a reality to remove barriers experienced by this particular group, and this is the persons with disability.
The small ceremony today saw people living with disabilities from all walks of life coming together to share some experiences and challenges they face. Mary Ikupu is a person who has been living with a disability for over 26 years.
She has mobility challenges and acquire a disability through illness. She said a challenge they face is trying to understand their own situation and communicate.
If we are exposed or if we are involved or if we are included, we'll be able to understand our own situation and we'll be able to communicate it to the people who are trying to make access for us or make way for us.
A visually impaired person, Martin Kawage, is a teacher who teaches at the St. John's Special Education Resource Center. He has been living with the disability since 1991. He said children living with disability need to be educated to be able to speak for themselves.
The people with disabilities themselves, they need to be educated in order for them to speak for their own issues at the provincial level, at the national level, in all sectors. We need people with disabilities to be educated.
Approximately 15% of the world's population today lives with some form of disability. And in PNG, the estimate number of people living with disability is 1.2 million. Rayon Lakingu, National EMTV News.
And before we take a break, a report related to our earlier story on PNG's favorite corned beef. Papua New Guineans love their OxenPalm, but over the past 30 years, the price has risen and some people have been resorting to stealing at supermarkets because they cannot afford it but love its taste. Kraft Heinz OxenPalm, the producers of OxenPalm, say the quality of the product is the reason it is expensive. Importing the quality premium beef is one of the reasons for its high cost. They also added that the quality has been the same for the past 30 years.
OxenPalm, OxenPalm, the true bully beef.
For the generation that grew up with OxenPalm as a must on the dinner table, the price has risen relatively. But OxenPalm has kept its quality since 1986. And calls for it to bring its price lower than it is today depends on many factors. The beef is premium Queensland beef to world food standards.
Palm barbecue, the OxenPalm you love with a tangy barbecue flavor.
Buying it and importing it is costly before the canning process. Australia has been facing drought and the price of beef has gone up by 17%. And with growing import tariffs on beef in PNG, the cost of producing OxenPalm has followed. The problem with local beef is that it cannot meet the quality and quantity needed for production.
One thing that we do know is we can't play around with OxenPalm. We can't cheapen the formula. You know, we could put less meat in, do things like that, but then that's not acceptable. People in Papua New Guinea expect their OxenPalm to be exactly the same as it is now as what it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Without tampering with the quality of OxenPalm, the company is looking for ways to lower the price. Packaging might be a start. The different brands of OxenPalm, red, blue, orange and barbecue, have different ingredients and standard of beef, thus lowering the price to a certain extent.
The cost for us to bring the meat from Australia and Victoria by train to Queensland, by ship to PNG and then out to our factory. So when it arrives at our factory, it's just a big side of beef. Then basically that's what goes in the can. It's just minced up and then put in the can with some flavours and spices.
But it's the 10% fat beef, OxenPalm, the famous red tin, that continues to sell out in PNG. It goes to show the quality is still the same over the years. But Kraft Heinz OxenPalm says the products are all multi-million kina and worth the value.
We've got to keep looking towards the future to overcome some of those obstacles that you've said, like pricing and packaging, so we need to just keep trying different things, and we will, because we can't stay still as a business. That's very important, and that's why we look for other areas to go into as well as different types of packaging.
Fidelis Sugina, National EMTV News.
This is Monday's news. Safe delivery is strengthened in Southern Highlands and Australia Awards give out scholarships. Stay tuned for the details after the break.
You too can now experience the refreshment of pure PNG with True water, sourced from an ancient aquifer, carbon filtered, ultraviolet and ozone treated, and the finest purification with reverse osmosis.
And that means the science lesson is now over. Settle back and refresh yourself with PNG's finest. Reach for a chilled through water. Pure PNG.
Lady Speedstick presents Barbara Blade in the heat of the city. More action and adventure. She's always protected and fresh and uses Lady Speedstick that controls wetness and odor for effective protection that lasts up to 24 hours. She's always fresh, ready for anything and anyone. The new Lady Speedstick, fresh, strong, confident.
At BSP, we continue to offer our valued customers smart banking solutions. We are proud to introduce our new range of Visa chip cards, now providing customers convenient options to shop with touch and go and enhanced security features. For any purchase up to 50 kina, you can simply touch and go, and for other amounts, simply insert your card and enter your PIN. Enjoy the convenience and safety of a BSP Visa chip card, available at your local BSP branch.
Because we are you. We are BSP.
For tasty and a delicious meal choice for your enjoyment, Prima is the name you can trust. For guaranteed meal satisfaction during special occasions or that daily meal, Prima is the name you can trust. Yes, it is safe to eat, quality assured, and undoubtedly satisfying. Available at your nearest wholesales or supermarket stores. Prima always tastes great.
Business is always changing. Keep up with Business PNG. From big business to small business. Get the breakdown of the financial headlines from the heart of the country's economic epicenter, Port Moresby.
To increasing financial inclusion, mining and petroleum conference, e-commerce,
Business PNG, making your business our business.
This is Business PNG.
Welcome back to the news. The United Nations Population Fund continues to work with other stakeholders in Southern Highlands to promote safe deliveries of newborn babies. Last week, it donated 20 delivery beds, including examination lights that will be used in both church-run clinics and government-owned health centers in the Southern Highlands and Hela provinces. The donation is part of the disaster relief assistance UNFPA is providing following the earthquake in February.
The donation of the delivery beds, including examination lights, is predicted to improve safer deliveries and reduce chances of infections a newborn baby may be exposed to. The support provided by UNFPA, a body within the United Nations organization that specializes in reproductive health, was welcomed by both Hela and Southern Highlands provincial hospitals.
What you are going to provide now is going to make a lot of difference to the people out there. And these people have been missing out on all these very, very basic services for a very, very long time through negligence, all these things, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of equipments, basic things.
The level of assistance provided by UNFPA includes numerous trainings on how to manage cases of sexual assaults, domestic violence, and approaches to improving reproductive and maternal health issues in Hela and Southern Highlands.
So we ask ourselves, why should a woman die while she's giving life? Why? Is pregnancy a disease? I don't think so.
Following the earthquake in February, many pregnant women found it challenging to seek antenatal care at urban clinics or rural aid posts. Thus, UNFPA has assisted local communities with donations of numerous kits, including medical equipment, to assist pregnant women and health officers.
No time la hobek la use no adol give me this la back here. All give this la back time was me feeling ma mas no good roya because all some something be me need him logan. And what put me na me mas no good roya. Me mas no good na so na me come back to normal again.
Representing the church-run health centers, Bishop Donald Lippard from the Medan Catholic Diocese spoke of how the equipment will save lives and minimize infant mortality rates in both provinces.
Trainings and awareness for our people that we ourselves would find it very difficult to be able to find the expertise and the resources to do for ourselves. And so it's because of our very valued and appreciated partnership with UNFPA that that our people have been able to participate and to benefit and to gain the capacity that is necessary.
Thekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
Negotiating a better deal for Papua New Guinea will be the mantra for the national government as it looks to finalizing some major projects within the extractive industries in the months ahead. Prime Minister Peter O'Neill made these comments when speaking to MTV News on day one of the 2018 PNG Mining and Petroleum Investment Conference.
Addressing the opening session of the PNG Mining and Petroleum Conference, Prime Minister Peter O'Neill elaborated on his government's efforts in pushing for better deals for upcoming projects in Papua New Guinea. His comments come on the back of concerns regarding the perceived unfair distribution of wealth from existing projects operating in PNG. According to Mr. O'Neill, the lessons from current projects will not be repeated, with the national government aiming to ensure that the country receives a better deal financially, but more importantly, socially, through respective project agreements.
You will see that the two projects that we are now negotiating, particularly Total LNG project in the Gulf and Wafi Gulf, will indicate the agreements that we will sign. That is the future of our industry in the country, and we will be announcing those deals very soon. Yeah.
A major aspect of upcoming projects that the government is keen to complete is the all-important landowner and clan vetting exercise, especially within the gas sector, which, according to the Prime Minister, was rushed during the country's first LNG project.
It should have been done before. It wasn't only for Exxon and the partners, but even government at that time did not do the proper clan vetting, proper identification of the landowners. They allowed this project to go out without that, and it was something that an oversight by all parties, and we are trying to fix that at the moment.
The Prime Minister's comments come at a time when the government is trying to finalize project agreements for the Papua LNG and Wafi Golpu projects respectively. An MOU between the state and project developers for Papua LNG was signed during the recent APEC Economic Leaders Week in Port Moresby, and according to the Prime Minister, a similar agreement is expected to be signed for the Wafi Golpu project at the conclusion of the Sydney conference.
We are very much close to settling the physical terms of the deal, which is about the tax regime and the benefit sharing that's going to go to all the stakeholders. That will pave way for us to get into the other requirements of permitting the mining project, which will include environmental permits and so forth. And we want to conclude that by June next year. But the agreement so that we will sign in the next few days will pave way for it. Yeah.
Merabatulo, National EMTV News, Sydney.
On the sidelines of the PNG Mining and Petroleum Investment Conference in Sydney, ExxonMobil PNG has signed an agreement with PNG Power to conduct a study to provide electricity from the PNG LNG Hides gas facility into Hela Province. ExxonMobil PNG Managing Director Andrew Berry and PPL Acting Managing Director Carolyn Blacklock signed the agreement today, signalling the start of efforts to provide up to 5 megawatts of power from gas for electricity for the home province of the PNG LNG project. According to both parties, these efforts are long overdue and are aimed at improving the lives of communities in the PNG LNG project area.
We are not deluded. We think that this is transition. We don't think it's forever power. We think that Papua New Guinea is blessed by sunshine, by wind and by hydro, and that's our long-term, cheapest, reliable power cost answer.
More than 1,000 water PNG customers in Madang are raising serious distress over the water problem faced in the township for almost a month. The residents have resorted to using water tanks or drums and wells to capture rainwater for drinking, cooking and washing. Residents are demanding answers from Water PNG management in Madang, but to no avail.
It's been a month since the water supply going into town came to a halt without any explanation coming from Water PNG management in Madang. Newtown resident Patricia Gaga and her family have been using water tanks to catch rainwater to use for cooking, washing and drinking.
I make him life blame plago naraplakaini. Abrusim lifestyle blon man the place all stop now. Yeah. We are sharing water, one bucket. 6 weeks here, around 6 weeks now, there's no water. Now we have a tank, but tank I'm finished now. People use him, share him na. Use him, so one bucket water, mas man me block so we're using a scoop to bath.
Gaga says a family reused the same water to use with other household chores, including washing. The family is impatient and want the management of Water PNG Medan to give them an answer.
Please, Water PNG, make it something lo this lao. People lo Medan, I think you may make it kind something. You plus strong na, you may strike o. You may make one kind blockage lo road na about o.
While working class told EMTV, they are also using other means to catch water and use.
Problem lo wara kama.
Meanwhile, Modilon General Hospital has also scaled down its operations due to the non-supply of water for the last 4 weeks. Madang Business Center Manager Patrick Jinimbo in an email advised EMTV they are doing all they can to bring back water into town, in particular the Newtown area. They had put in a smaller capacity pump to assist the other 2 pumps which are not pumping enough water due to the wear and tear after the flood. For now, Water PNG is rationing water to the town at certain time intervals to make sure residents have water. Martha Lewis, National EMTV News, Madang.
The Australian government, in partnership with the Papua New Guinea government, is supporting the urgent need to train more elementary and primary school teachers. The Australian government, through its Australian Awards Scholarship Program in PNG, will offer scholarships to 30 students of Sacred Heart Teachers College in 2019. Suli Suli reports.
The Australian government has been supporting scholarships at Sacred Heart Teachers College since 2015. They have so far offered 104 scholarships. This partnership aims at training students to be qualified teachers who will teach in rural areas.
In 2015, the Australian government, through the Australia Awards PNG program, began its partnership with Sacred Heart Teachers College. This partnership supports the government's aim of increasing the number of qualified teachers and particularly preparing teachers willing to work in rural and remote communities across the country.
Through these scholarships, the Australian government has contributed over 8 million kina on course and accommodation fees to the college. This money has helped the college in its day-to-day management and to build new infrastructure such as a computer lab and 2 new teachers' houses.
Over the past 3 years, the Australian government have supported education aspirations over 100 awardees with scholarship fees in excess of 4.8 million kina.
The Australian government will also provide 30,000 kina to undertake maintenance on student dormitories, to ensure the safety and security of all students, and will provide an additional 100,000 kina to support the purchase of new equipment and staff training. Suli Suli, National EMTV News.
After almost 10 years of building parts of the Madang Road, the PNGDF's engineering battalion brought back machinery used in the project, marking completion of Phase 1. Acting Commander Major David Tiki said there were challenges faced with funding and also servicing of the vehicles to ensure work continued. The vehicles and machinery will be serviced and brought up to Madang for Phase 2.
This morning, soldiers at the Igam barracks gathered to receive heavy equipment brought back from a project site in Baya after almost 10 years. These vehicles and machinery were used by the engineering battalion to build the Madang to Baya road starting in 2009.
For Baya side of the project, we have completed it. We have completed the project. We've reached Jimmy River, the bridge point. And then we are recovering the machines back to Igam Barracks.
According to Operations Officer Major Mote Nukama, about 43 kilometers of the road has been completed. One of the challenges faced during the roadworks was funding. The Engineering Battalion's Acting Commander Major David Tiki says maintaining the machinery to continue the work was also a challenge.
Most of the equipment were breaking down, and that had to slow down the work. And then we had to wait for funds to be available for us to procure parts to fix the equipment up.
The return of these machines marks the completion of Phase 1 of the Madang Baya Road. They will be serviced and brought to Madang to continue with Phase 2.
And then we'll insert into Ayom Simba area. That's on the other side of Ramu. From there, we'll start from Ramu, Ayom, and then we'll construct through Simba area, and then we go to Jimmy Bridge Point. That will happen towards the end of December this year.
Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News, Leh.
People living with HIV and some supporters staged a peaceful protest today. They protested on issues such as the shortage of antiretroviral drugs, corruption and misappropriation of funds for HIV/AIDS awareness.
PLWHIV, or persons living with HIV/AIDS, including family members and supporters, held placards demanding action for what they claimed is a misappropriation of donor funds to assist in their treatment. They used this day to voice their concerns. Maura Ella Ripe is one of them. She has been living with HIV for the last 20 years. She spoke on behalf of people living with HIV. Ella Ripe said there are people with HIV who are still unaware of the positive status and are not aware of how to protect themselves. She said mothers and babies at times have missed out on antiviral drugs because of a lack of management of the drugs.
All HIV drugs and consumables must be purchased using the approved system, whether through WAMBO or UNICEF, whatever. Treasury and Finance must approve and release funds for HIV so that we can purchase ART and test kits.
Dr. Andup from the World Health Organization agreed that persons living with HIV must be given their treatment.
They must be in treatment for a long, long time, the whole life.
Tamara Pia Agavi, National EMTV News.
You're watching the news on EMTV. Stick around. We have all your sporting action in Chukai Sports coming up next.
Whatever our work may be, sing out strong as far as you can see. Whatever language people are taught, come on, everyone join in. An exciting adventure is about to begin. 'Cause there's one thing we all know, when it's time to get up and go. Sharing stories make the call. Our favorites biscuit the best of all. M now, PMG. M now, PMG. M now, PMG.
If you are purchasing Christmas lights this festive season, carry out a basic check before you buy. Check that the insulation is thick and the plugs are standard. Christmas lights with thin insulation and substandard plugs are dangerous and can cause harm or fire. But before you purchase, always ask for a certificate of approval from PNG Power Limited. For more information, check our website, social media sites, and the national call center numbers on your screen.
My story is something different. Practicing hard at an age when it was my age to play. Returning to play within days of dad going God's way. Choosing my country again over anything else any day. I deserve something different, and so do you. Presenting new OxenPalm Barbecue. The OxenPalm you love with a tangy barbecue flavor that is so tasty and so different. Because PNG deserves something different.
Wednesday on Marvel Runaways. Victor accepts responsibility for the failed sacrifice.
It wasn't the box. It was me. We need a replacement now.
You mean someone who doesn't count?
Caroline reveals to Chase how her body glows without her bracelet.
How do you do that?
I don't know how. I don't even know.
Marvel Runaways. Wednesday 9 p.m. right here on your number one to watch, EMTV.
Tukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. The Money Plus PNG Squash Open ended yesterday with the grand final playoffs in each division. The PNG Open started on Friday evening with players from Lae, Mount Hagen, Port Moresby and Australia competing.
After 7 years, the Money Plus PNG Squash Open tournament had their grand final at the Port Moresby Rackets Club yesterday evening. The tournament saw participants from Mount Hagen, Lae, Port Moresby and players from Australia. More than 70 players took part, 38 of whom were junior squash players. In the girls' under-19 finals, Port Moresby's Amiti Alakos beat Mount Hagen's Jemelin Meninga 3-1. In the under-19 boys finals, it was a battle between two Port Moresby-based players, Christopher Whitchurch and Linus Do'o. Whitchurch beat Do'o 3-1 to claim the under-19 boys title. The Women's Open Division final witnessed PNG number 1 Lynette Vai comfortably beat Nicole Gibbs 3-0. Vai, who lives and trains in Melbourne, cruised through the round-robin stage and easily claimed this year's PNG Open title in the women's division.
Make it on the team again for the Pacific Games, and this win was just another bonus. And also a good gauge to see where I'm at and how much I need to put in.
The last match of the evening saw the much-anticipated Men's Open Division final between PNG number 1 Madako Suari Jr. and PNG former number 1 Michael Rucklinger from Mount Hagen. Earlier this year, Rucklinger beat Suari in the men's finals of the Mount Hagen Open. Yesterday's final was expected to be tough between the two, but Madako Suari Jr. proved to have the upper hand, being precise with his execution on the court. Suari put on a suiting performance, winning the first 3 sets, beating Rucklinger and maintaining his spot as number 1 in PNG.
This year, in the PNG Open, I had to work extra hard to get the final and win the Men's Open this year.
After the finals, awards were given to winners in the different divisions. Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
11 players have been released from the SP PNG Hunters train-on squad. These players have been released due to personal reasons, failing medical and fitness tests and injuries. Edwin Ipape, who played in the Comultan England Night Series along with former SP Hunter William Aquila, have left due to personal reasons. 6 players failed the medical and fitness tests, while 3 were released due to injuries. Meanwhile, coach Michael Marum has added Jack Oy from the Magani club in the Palmer RFL competition to the squad. Trukai Sports continues after these messages. Stay tuned for more.
Trukai Sports.
Mr. Jet, got it! What's this? Jump, jump, jump! Mother, jump! That's it! Hooray!
Good time Teddy Chocolate Chip. With the chocolate chip, you're sure to have a good time.
Yeah, Grumpy. This is hungry. Yeah, Happy. Happy!
The theme for 2018, Know Your Status, Get Treatment and Live Longer. World AIDS Day commemorated on 1st December. We remember the people we have lost. We pray for those living or affected by HIV and for their loved ones. We pray for strength and courage to fight injustice, inequalities, stigma and discrimination in our faith communities. As we give thanks for what has been achieved, we commit ourselves anew to doing all we can to make sure that no one is left behind. And my appeal to all again is, know your status, get treatment, and live longer. May God bless you all.
Win a share of 500,000 kina with Roots Rice. All you need to do is buy any Roots medium grain rice, write your name, mobile number and address on the bag or packet and drop it in entry boxes in stores nationwide. There'll be 6 weekly cash draws with 4 lucky winners walking away with the grand prize of 50,000 kina each. Promotion starts 1st December 2018 and ends 12 January 2019. Hurry and enter for your chance to win cash with Roots Rice.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. The Black Caps have won the crucial toss and will bat first in the deciding test against Pakistan as they seek a rare series win in the subcontinent. New Zealand's made a bold call, handing Will Somerville a debut in favour of Ish Sodhi, and Tim Southee is in for Neil Wagner. The newfound spin wizard will have to play a big part again.
Returning to the scene of his debut heroics, Ajaz Patel facing the task of trying to spin New Zealand to a rare series win in the subcontinent in just his 3rd test.
For me, it's a great challenge, and it's something that I look forward to, being able to try and produce something that hopefully will result in a win for New Zealand again.
The decider back in Abu Dhabi, where Patel bamboozled Pakistan in the 2nd innings of the 1st test, taking 5 for 59 and leading the Black Caps to an improbable victory.
Now he's taken it!
But while he's been a revelation, New Zealand's batting has largely been a write-off. Collapses in both tests, most notably all 10 wickets for just 40 runs in the 1st innings in Dubai, leading to the embarrassing 2nd test defeat.
It was about 45 minutes of madness, but to follow that up with a very good batting effort on a wearing pitch was a really good sign.
It's been 49 years since the Black Caps last won a series away against Pakistan. This team well aware of history.
It's quite an exciting moment for us, and it's a great opportunity for us to kind of, walk away with a series.
Pressure on newbies and veterans alike as history beckons in the UAE.
Good grace has turned to anger for the Tyson Fury camp after last night's heavyweight title bout with Deontay Wilder ending in a controversial draw. The British fighter has called for an inquiry into the scoring system after the split decision and demanded a rematch.
Raging rivals turned the best of friends after their 12-round title fight in the Staples Centre, just down the road from Hollywood. After putting on a show, the draw ensured Deontay Wilder retained his WBC belt, while former champion Tyson Fury regained international respect 3 years after walking away from the sport.
I fought back from suicide and mental health and depression and anxiety, and I wanted more than anything tonight to show the world that it can be done.
So the 30-year-old promptly burst into song. Fury has since launched into the judges, insisting he'd built up an unbeatable points buffer.
Best punch of the fight, bam! I've never seen a worse decision in my life. I don't know what fight that them judges are watching. The guy who gave it 115, 111, he had me losing the first 6 rounds, and I don't know what he was watching.
Probably Wilder knocking him down twice, first with a glancing blow in the 9th, and then a clinical crunching right-left combination in the 12th round.
The back of his head snapped off the canvas.
I had a holy hand upon me tonight and brought me back.
Me and Fury put on a hell of a performance tonight, and I'd love to go back into a rematch.
Back in Auckland, heavyweight boxer Junior Farr, who spent a month training with Wilder in the lead-up to the fight, reckons they should take that rematch to England.
Their support for the sport and their love for the fighters is just second to none. So I think it would be great if it's in the UK.
That's where Fury's heading now, for the birth of his 5th child.
And that story wraps up Trukai Sports. Up next, your weather details for the next 24 hours.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
You too can now experience the refreshment of pure PNG with True Water, sourced from an ancient aquifer, carbon filtered, ultraviolet and ozone treated, and the finest purification with reverse osmosis.
And that means the science lesson is now over. Settle back and refresh yourself with PNG's finest. Reach for a chilled True Water. Pure PNG.
If you are purchasing Christmas lights this festive season, carry out a basic check before you buy. Check that the insulation is thick and the plugs are standard. Christmas lights with thin insulation and substandard plugs are dangerous and can cause harm or fire. But before you purchase, always ask for a certificate of approval from PNG Power Limited. For more information, check our website, social media sites, and the national call center numbers on your screen.
My story is something different. Practicing hard at an age when it was my age to play. Returning to play within days of Dad going God's way. Choosing my country again over anything else any day. I deserve something different, and so do you.
Presenting new OxenPalm Barbecue. The OxenPalm you love with a tangy barbecue flavor that is so tasty and so different. Because PNG deserves something different.
In our harsh and vibrant landscape, Dulux Weather Shield is the perfect choice to protect your building against everything Mother Nature throws at it. Worth doing, worth Dulux.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
A look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours in the southern region, mostly fine in Port Moresby, Daru, Alutau and Popondetta, a shower or two in Kerema. In the Mamasa region, mostly fine. In Leh, Madang, Wewak, Vanimo, some showers in Wau. In the New Guinea Islands region, mostly fine right across the region in Lorengau, KV and Kokoporabao, Kimbe and Buka. And in the Highlands region, fine weather with some low clouds right across the region in Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabag.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
And that's the news, sport and weather for today, Monday, the 3rd of December 2018. On behalf of the entire EMTV News team, pleasant viewing. Good night.
This news program was proudly brought to you by Paradise Foods and Paradise Beverages.
It's bedtime.
Brush, brush, brush 2 times a day. Brush, brush, brush to keep cavities away. Brush, brush, brush 2 times
Remember
a day.
to brush your teeth before you go to bed. Good night, kids.